first ever meeting of GT Cup Europe at Hockenheim continues with race 2, another 50-minute encounter for these cup-level machines from Porsche and Ferrari. And it looks to be another classic battle between these two iconic manufacturers around this 4.574 kilometer circuit. A first ever meeting for the GT Cup Europe at Hockenheim. But in qualifying, it was all about the Ferraris from Mertel and Rosso Corsa. They've locked out the front row, but the Porsches are in hot pursuit with GDL Racing. Yesterday's race winners starting on the second row of the grid, and plenty more starting well within inside the top 10. Chris Stevens and Ewan Dunlop in commentary for this afternoon's race. And Ivan Velasco and Luca Ludwig going for pole position, looking for redemption from yesterday.
It has been an emotional roller coaster for the Mertel Motorsport Ferrari 4A8, Velasco and Ludwig. Qualifying in pole on Saturday, leading over the start-finish line yesterday, but under safety car with a 5-second penalty, dropped them down to 7th overall. Qualifying 2 this morning, back on top, hoping to maintain that position all the way to the end with a gap, no penalty, no safety car, and full points.
That is certainly the hope. Well, it's always the hope, isn't it? Easier said than done. Of course, Mertel versus Rosso Corsa on the front row of the grid, the two teams that are fielding Ferrari machinery. That Rosso Corsa car that is starting on the front row of the grid was smashed to pieces on Friday by its regular driver, Andrea Bellici. And Andrea Bellici having to go to hospital to check for back injury. He's unable to take part in this weekend, so Rosso Corsa have had to dig out the spare car, which is a white and red one, so it's not in its familiar blue and red colours. And it is Nico Schiro who has stepped in for Andrea Bellici to partner Lorenzo Innocenti, and he did a great job in qualifying, putting it on the front row of the grid. A couple of new entries we've just been seeing. The red Ferrari there, that is the 7th Ferrari entered by the Mertel team, our reigning Drivers' Champions teams. And as well from the Belgian racing team, they have brought back our 2022 champion, Jan Lorison, but it'll be his teammate Dylan De Dale starting the car from 7th position. At 21, RO1 Racing, Calf Camille Perriand ended the qualifying session in the gravel earlier on today, but he goes from 17th. And of course, our AM class leader as well in the championship. The Racar car, the overall race winners in Portimao. And there's that Camille Perriand car we were talking about. Ended qualifying in the gravel.
Yes, Veps and Martins in the 911 Racar Motorsport. They finished 6th overall in race number 1 to win, or they lead the AM class. Yet qualified for race 2 only down, I say only, down in 15th position, leading that one in the 81, and 4th overall was the Mertel Motorsport Navarrete and Libera pairing. So could see some switches over, and they are the only AM car in the top 8 as well. Great performance this morning.
Yeah, they're joined by David Kajaya, the Georgian driver in the sister number 86 machine inside the top 10. And that 86 car is the one that is debuting this weekend alongside Martinez Richter as well as Kajaya. His home race, of course, home race for Mertel Motorsport. They're the German outfit, and of course they want to finish strong on home soil, which they did across the road yesterday, as we mentioned, but lost the win due to a 5-second time penalty, but still starting from pole position today. Here's a look back at what happened yesterday then. It was Luca Ludwig who led the field from pole position with the Q1 track racing car following close behind in 2nd position. We had contact between Zander Prispelak and Jan Lorison, which pitched the Belgian racing team car into the gravel. We had to have a safety car out for that one. Luca Ludwig handing over the car to Ivan Velasco, and then we had the battles further on with Evgeny Leonov chasing down the 911 Racar car, and the GDL car, Federico Arrafai, following him through as well. This ended up being the race-winning move, Federico Arrafai pouncing on the Volcano car to take what would eventually be the lead in the race. But we had a safety car out for Laura van der Hengel, who unfortunately put it in the gravel at turn 11 as well. We ended under safety car conditions, and although it was the number 80 first across the line, it was the youngest pairing of the grid, Federico Al-Rafai and Matteo Lovisi, who took victory for GDL Racing. And this is what it's done to the championship standings going into the 4th race of the season. The GDL pair leading Ivan Velasco and Luka Ludwig by 4 points, with Lars Heinen and Zander Prispelak a further 2 points back. And Evgeny Leonov, after his first podium since the Spa Enduro almost a full 12 months ago, sits in 4th in the championship and has a very good chance at shaking off the bad luck he's had since that last podium finish and fighting a little bit further up the grid on a more regular basis.
All set up for yet another wonderful afternoon of GT Cup racing. Having a look along the grid now at the last few words of encouragement and advice from the teams to their... And a little wave. I'm very happy to be in this one. There's the car number 17, Nicolo Shiro, second over the line in qualifying. He'll start on the front row of the grid in the beautiful Ferrari. You can just hear in the background the whistles and sirens to let us know there's just a few minutes remaining until we start our formation lap.
It's Federico Al-Rafai, yesterday's race winner for the GDL racing team alongside Matteo Lovisi. GDL's first win since the end of the 2022 season in GT Cup, all the way back in Barcelona. And that Fernando Navarrete, our AM pole sitter for Mertel. It's double pole position for Mertel on overall and AM pole position with their 80 and 81 machines. Nicholas Salins and hoping to go a little bit stronger with Stinas Longin than he did yesterday. Fabio Babini and Davide Scanicchio took their first podium of the season yesterday. It was their 5th podium, if memory serves me correctly, in the GT Open. 6th podium, excuse me, in GT Cup since they joined the championship last year. And Dylan Derdale sharing the car with 2022 champion Jan Lorison, Belgian pair for the Belgian racing team. And Dylan will actually get to start this race, unlike he did yesterday, because Lorison was out of the race before the driver change window opened. But here we see fantastic mix of the Porsche 992 Cup cars and the Ferrari 488 Challenge Evos. The Porsches very quick in the corners. The Ferrari own the straights with that super powerful 3.9 litre V8 under the hood. It makes for a very interesting, dynamic and great racing as well. We have 19 cars. Well, actually, we have 18 on the grid and 1 in pit lane. We're down 1. Race number 2 for GT Cup Europe in Hockenheim about to get underway. The formation lap about to start. Here is how they will line up. It's back-to-back pole positions for the number 80 crew of Ivan Velasco and Luka Ludwig. He starts alongside the Ferrari of Nicolo Shiro from Rosso Corsa. The first of the Porsches, Federico Al-Rafai, yesterday's race winner from GDL Racing. Then the AM pole sitter, Fernando Navarrete, also from Mertal Motorsport. Nicholas Salins goes from 5th for Q1 Track Racing. And then the Tsunami Racing Team Porsche of Fabio Babini. Dylan Derdale for the Belgian racing team starts ahead of the Q1 Track Racing Porsche of Lars Zeinen on the 4th row of the grid. Then David Kajaya in the new Mertal car, number 86, ahead of Evgeny Leonov, who was on the podium yesterday. Johannes Zelger going from 11th position for the Tsunami Racing Team, alongside another Q1 car, Nico van Dierendonk in 12th position. Then Laurent van der Velde, his teammate just behind him, and Philippe Wills in the Speed Lover Porsche, starting from 14th. Leandro Martin in the Racar car, starting from 15th, ahead of Laura van der Hengel in the all-female Mertal Motorsport number 83 car. Camille Perrien ended qualifying in the gravel. He starts 17th, ahead of Jorge Capezas. Very difficult qualifying for the Spaniard. Stefano Bozzoni will start from the pit lane, not on the grid, and we have lost the number 82 Mertel car after that car was damaged yesterday in qualifying, and that unfortunate record for that car of it not doing a racing lap all season long continues to race number 4.
Yeah, that is a record that you want to get rid of as soon as you possibly can. Hopefully in Spa in a couple of weeks' time. Now, of course, the one to stop here is Ivan Velasco. He will be foot down, full send into corner one. And can he be caught? Well, they've been the standout car this weekend. Denied the win, of course, yesterday. Looking for redemption in race number 2.
So Stefano Bizzoni, we saw there, will start from pit lane after not adhering to the safety car restart regulations in yesterday's race. So we will have 18 runners coming down to the first corner on the track. And Ivan Velasco will lead them down there. It will be an all-Ferrari front row of the grid. And we see the power of that Ferrari often makes it a very difficult car to pass and very quick off the line. Of course, as well. But Federico Alrafai got a lot of work to do. Track temperature now up to 48 degrees. It looks pretty searing out there.
I think that's the hottest it's been this weekend.
I think you're right.
The air's been 25, the track's been about 43, 44. It is, what is it? It's 2:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Yeah, well, volcano. It feels like a volcano on that track right now.
So, that's one of the Q1 cars just retaking position there. Yeah, Lars Zanen car ahead of like Dylan Dale, didn't it? So they will fall into the 2x2 formation coming into the third sector. Yes, fluids very much needed in the volcano crew. Because it is very hot out there. Luckily, we are in the nice air-conditioned commentary box in the shade as well of the grandstand on the other side of the circuit. But now in formation, we will get race number 2 of GT Cup Europe in Hockenheim started. It is the first ever time the GT Cup Europe has come to the Hockenheim ring. Yesterday was certainly full of a lot of drama. Let's see what these cars can provide for us today. You see the patchwork there on the front right of the Rosso Corsa car after it dinged the barriers in yesterday's qualifying session. It is an all-Ferrari front row of the grid. Mertel leading Rosso Corsa, and then the first of the Porsches in third position. Ivan Velasco on the right-hand side of the track in the green Ferrari. Nicolo Schiro in the white Ferrari alongside him. As we get going, we are lights out in Hockenheim, and Evgeny Leonov having to take to the grass already and dropping further down the order, but it is Ivan Velasco who leads Nicolo Schiro going into the first corner. Plenty of cars having to take to the escape road as they have run wide down there, and Velasco still leading, but Schiro right hot on his heels, and Federico Alrafai right in there as well. He's gone with the 2 Ferraris. He's on board with Johannes Zelga. He's got the Rackar car right in front of him, coming out onto the Parabolica for the first time, and Leonov just in front of them as well. He was on the grass coming down the front straight. Could be a change for the lead here as Schiro is going for it down the outside into the hairpin at the first time of asking. Remember, Velasco is the bronze driver in that Pro-Am pairing, whereas Schiro acting as the pro for Andrea Bellici this weekend. And he's got Federico Alrafai for close company as well. And then is that the 54 that's come up? I mean, Fernando Neveretti's dropping like a stone at the moment. That car not having the best of starts at all.
So Ivan Velasco, exactly the start that we thought. Foot down, held it right to the line with Schiro. Got into the first corner first though and away. Only a half a second lead in Federico Alrafai, the winners yesterday. He crossed the finish line. And he's currently in third, and they're starting to move away already. In fourth place, Dylan Dale. Off at the back.
Leonov for the second time on this lap on the grass. I think trying to avoid the recovering Nicholas Salins, because he did 2 wheels into the gravel on the exit of turn 11. So the 2 Porsches getting very close, and Johannes Zelga's gone for a spin at turn number 11 by the looks of it. Lots of smoke down there at the Mobile 1 curve. But the leaders across the line at the end of the first lap, it's Velasco leading Schiro, leading Alrafai. Dylan Dale has made a lightning start up into 4th position in the Belgian racing team. Porsche, he's ahead of Babini, and now David Kajaya is our AM class leader in the number 86 Mertel Ferrari, ahead of Lars Zanen and Fernando Neveretti. and then Evgeny Leonov and Nicolas Salins in the top 10.
I tell you what, that mistake from Bazzoni putting down to 18th, and Bazzoni nearly tagged Zelga. So when Zelga sang, he almost forgot that Bazzoni was starting from the pit lane, came through as he was sprinting to get back on track, almost took him out, but Bazzoni did get through in the yellow Ferrari.
Down towards the hairpin for the second time of asking the two Ferraris leading the Porsche, and they've got 1.5 seconds over Dylan de Dale's Belgian racing team Porsche, but he's bringing Fabio Babini with him up there. So the 54 making its debut. Obviously, Jan Lauritsen, very accomplished in the GT Cup Europe, but Dylan de Dale, a multiple Belcar endurance champion. Now joining us, he was a podium finisher in GT Open, of course, as well, back in 2014. He has plenty of experience racing in the GT World Challenge at the Macau GT World Cup. Just to name a few things that he has managed to achieve, and doing a great start there at the number 54 car, so he is up into 4th position. This is the AM class leader in that red number 86 Ferrari, David Kajaya, with Lars Zanen. And Fernando Leveretti looks like he's got the speed back going again. It was very slow at one point on the opening lap.
So no change in the order through the first couple of laps. Valesco, Shiro, Rafai at the front. They'll wind their way through the Nord Curve, on their way up to turn number 2. As we know, the real overtaking by one move to the inside from one of the Porsches on the other. That is Silent on the number 11, gets it over the Volcano car. And that is one move that you don't see too many overtakes there, but it just flicked up in the air. And then they'll go up the long left-hander of the Parabolica up to the hairpin. And the car number 16, that is, of course, Leonov. It will tie and get. Don't want to lose another place. This is Sakins and Leonov in the almost identical Porsches. Oh, we might get on the inside, bit of an understeer from the Volcano car. No, just about brings it back.
He had a little wobble there in that Q1 car, and Jorge Cabezas is right behind this car we're on board with as well. We'll try and take advantage of any moment that happens as well, with Nico van Dierendonk right behind them as well in the number 57 Q1 Track Racing Porsche. That's the lemon lime car almost from Q1 Track Racing. Yeah, we're back with the AM leader now, with Lars Zanen looking to make a move on David Kajaya here. The Ferrari versus the Porsche. Oh no, but Lars Zanen going for a spin on the Sachs curve. Plenty of tyre smoke, lighting up those rear Michelins, and Evgeny Leonov has collected the Q1 Track Racing car. We thought that Leonov's luck might finally be returning, but that just goes to prove that you can't take anything for granted. Bonnet's up there after he smashed the side of that car. Heavy damage there to the right-hand side as well, and Lars Zanen out of the car. Safety car deployed, unsurprisingly. That will bunch the field back up. Evgeny out of the car. That was probably quite a big hit for both drivers, but good to see Evgeny out of the car.
2nd and 4th over the line yesterday for those two cars, and both going to be out of race number 2. And we might be here for a little while. There are, of course, two cars to be collected by our marshalling team. And they both look pretty worse for wear, it's got to be said. Yeah. Wonder what angle we've got of that on a replay. Of course, there was smoke in the air. He was stranded in the middle of the track. He had nowhere to go, straight into the side.
Well, we just thought that Leonov's luck might finally have turned, but he's been on the grass 2 or 3 times in this race already. And now, oh, look at that! Is that one of the? Can't be one of the GDL cars. It's one of the Porsches further back in the field. It must have been one of the Q1 cars getting squeezed over by the Racar car and having to take to the dirt. Oh, this is a lovely... so it's the Speed Lover Porsche, the grey one towards the back of the field, getting squeezed out by Leandro Martins, I think that is. And we're going to see, is this Johannes Zelger's perspective? Well, there was a chop across him as well for good measure. So plenty of scuffling before they even got to the first corner. And then this is Lars Zanen chasing after the AM leader. A bit too much curb there, maybe. Absolutely lights up those rear Michelins. One car goes...
Can't see a thing.
Yeah, one car goes right, one car goes left. And just as he pulls forward, Leonov is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, dear.
That is a hard hit for both drivers. Oh, and now we're going to see it on board from Leonov as well. You just see there's smoke, and in the middle of it, there's a car.
That's frightening.
That is, yeah, not nice to see at all. But it was good to see Evgeny out of the car. So, under safety car conditions, just under 9 minutes run so far. Ivan Velasco leads for the number 80 Bertel Motorsport crew in the Ferrari 488. Then it is the Rosso Corsa Ferrari of Nicolo Schiro. Federico Alrafai in the GDL Porsche in third position. Dylan de Dale in the Belgian racing team Porsche in fourth position, ahead of the Tsunami number 78 Fabio Babini. And the AM class leaders, David Kajaya and Fernando Navarrete, now line astern in the order, both from Mertel Motorsport in 6th and 7th. Nicolas Salins in the Q1 Track Racing Porsche in 8th. Jorge Cabezas in the 85 Mertel Ferrari in 9th. And then Nicolas van Dierendonck third amongst the AM runners, and 10th overall in the 57 Q1 Track Racing car. We have lost Lars Zanen and Evgeny Leonov after contact in the stadium section.
Now, hopefully we might not be waiting too long, because although there is fair damage, they're in the grass, not on the gravel, so they don't need to be picked up. They can just be, hopefully, towed out of position. In fact, one of them is on their way, the 53. So Lars Ennen's car is being towed right now, and the car of Leonov is just getting... They're trying to find the hook, which would have taken quite a lot of damage because he hit full frontal. So they're trying to find a place to hook that on, but that'll be away soon. So hopefully maybe another lap or two under the safety car and we'll get going. But both drivers are safe, and that is the most important thing. Can't say the same about their vehicles, sadly.
So 40 minutes left on the clock. Then the driver change window is going to open in about 10 minutes time as well. I've got to factor that in as well. If you've got your AM driver in at the moment, then you're looking pretty good. So Stefano Pizzoni might end up in a good position here in 84, depending on how long this safety car stays out for as well. The cars making their way down the front straight, weaving to keep that Michelin tyre temperature. Worth mentioning as well that a few cars obviously going in with handicap as well. The number 80 that leads the race is unhandicapped. As it's worked off its handicaps from the last few races. The cars that do have handicap, though, include the yesterday's race winner, which is 15 seconds because they finished second in Portimao as well. That is the most heavily handicapped car. And then the Racar Motorsport AM car, that has 10 seconds. And then it's, well, it was going to be 5 seconds for Leonov, but that is all for naught now. And also 10 seconds for Johannes Zalga as well. He is currently 16th and next to last of our remaining 17 runners.
They are struggling to get Evgeny Leonov's car onto the tow hook right now. Still in position as it was 5 minutes ago after the incident.
We're going to see it again. Is he up on that curb there? That banking can often catch drivers out, and then...
Thankfully, it wasn't particularly high speed. It could have been absolutely horrible it's not nice, clearly, but could have been worse if it was on one of the quicker corners.
Well, and also nicer as well that Lance Senen was on the other side of the car. His left-hand drive.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And hitting the back of the car, not the front. Yeah, could have been so much worse. So driver safe. And now it's just starting to tow. I think the damage actually might be digging the front left into the grass. So we might be here for a lap or two longer than we anticipated, first of all. So 8 minutes until driver change. I understand if... Let's fingers crossed, we're not going to be here for another 8 minutes, but they can extend the driver window because you can't change drivers under the safety car.
Yes, they can postpone it and they can delay it if they, and they can extend it if they have to, so that we don't get drivers coming in under safety car conditions. What we do have is another battle between the Ferraris and the Porsches in the meantime, when we get back going again. So Nicolo Schiro filling in for Andrea Bellici in that number 17 Rosso Corsa car, was driving for Kessel in the International GT Open last year, was Schiro. And behind them, Dylan Dedale, we said, making his debut in the championship. But of course, very experienced with GT3 machinery, and also the Porsche as well, has raced in Porsche Super Cup and in the Carrera Cup Benelux series as well. He spent a lot of time racing over in that region.
I'm happy to say the car has now been removed from the track. Safety car in this lap.
Yep, that is good news. So we'll be back underway again shortly with the 17 remaining runners. We've lost Lars Senen and Evgeny Leonov after that contact at the stadium section. And of course, the number 82, Mark Spiekervas and Leon Chen, Mertel Ferrari did not get going again after that crash in qualifying yesterday. Been quite a few incidents as well. Of course, the Rosso Corsa car being one of them. And they're racing in the spare car now. That number 17, the white and red machine, is our AM leader with Navakajaya, the Georgian driver, pushing onwards for the Mertel team, who are currently leading both standings. That is Dieter Schweppes from the 911 Racar team. He'll be getting ready to take the car over from Leandro Martin in a few minutes' time. Driver change window opens in just under 6 minutes. We've got the safety car lights off, and Ivan Velasco will lead them around for this safety car restart and try and establish a gap. Once again, but we saw how racy Nicolo Schiro was on the original start. I wonder if he might try and pounce on the Mertel car in front of him when we go back racing again. Well, Velasco hasn't really let the safety car go just yet. Safety car will now peel in, and Velasco has bolted. 34 minutes left on the clock, and we are back green racing once again in Hockenheim. Velasco leads Schiro over the line, Federico Alrifai, and now Dylan Dedale rides on the back of that GDL Porsche for a spot on the podium. And that looked like Jorge Cabezas making his way through on Nicolas Salins into the Nordcup. But side by side for the lead of the race, Nicolo Schiro on the inside takes the lead away from Ivan Velasco at the first big stop on this restart.
Well, at the start, they were side by side, and Schiro couldn't get it done. But when he's behind, I didn't think he used the safety car particularly well there, really sort of up against it. But into the first corner, into the second, and it is Schiro that takes the lead. And into the hairpin. Yeah, Velasco not going to get on the right side of Schiro. Still Federico Alrifai, Dylan Van Verde, Fabio Babini in the Porsches.
And we've had contact further back. Camille Perian and Johannes Zelger. A little tag there from the Tsunami racing car there, and that's pitched Perian around. It was a bit of a squeeze, but yeah, Johannes Zelger having a bit of contact there, and Camille Perian now pointing in the right direction as side by side between the Speed Lover and the 52 Q1 track racing car. That's Laurent van der Velde trying to get up on fleet wheels. Laurent van der Velde going backwards by the looks of it on this restart, and he's just had a massive swapper there in the Mobile 1 curve, so I wonder if all is well aboard that Q1 track racing car that came here leading the AM Championship.
Al Rafai all over the back of the Ferrari of Velasco as Shiro moves a second to the good advantage coming up to turn number 1. So what can the Porsche do here? Again, the baby duo. Al Rafai leading those out. Oh, a bit of a gap forming just ever so slightly, but Shiro 1.3 seconds out in front now. 0.4 from Velasco to Rafai, still Tadale and Babini 4 and 5. Kajai leading the AM competition in 6th, just 0.4 ahead of Navarrete. A safety car, tell you what, does make things a bit exciting after the restart, doesn't it? 3 minutes until driver change only. Who will be the first to dive in? You're going to start seeing that on the next time round the hairpin. Babini looking for an option to get past Dale. All of these first 5 cars, all in the Pro-Am competition, all a straight race. The 2 Ferraris still out in front right now.
And it's still David Kajaya leading Navarrete. Here we're on board with the number 81. That is his class rival right in front of him. And that looked like Dylan Tadale getting a little wide there through just the bright yellow car at the, you can see sort of 3 cars up. It's coming under big pressure from Babini behind as they go back into the stadium section once again, and we can see Babini has got the pressure on here, the Belgian racing car coming through the Sachs curve. It's a battle for 4th position with Tadale getting his mirrors full, and Mertel 1, 2 and 3 there at 6, 7 and 8, 1 and 2 in AM, and Cabezas just following them through as well. Nicolas Salins and Nico van Dierendonk inside the top 10. It's that battle for 3rd place. Second place with Federico Al Rafai, the Saudi Arabian F4 champion. In his first year of GT competition, took his first win yesterday alongside Matteo Levisi, now chasing after 2nd place ahead of Ivan Velasco. So we get the beautiful drone shot through turn 2.
Velasco, of course, the bronze driver of the pairing in the number 80. So Ludwig will be eager to get his hands on that steering wheel. Shiro once again leading them through the hairpin. Doesn't want to lose a place to Federico Al Rafai. Of course, that trio of Ferraris. Babini once again looks for options on Tadale at the hairpin. They'll come through to the Mercedes little chicane area and through to the stadium. More Ferraris behind the Porsches.
Whoa,
oh,
big
slide!
lunge!
Glides it through. Does Fabio Babini, can he hold it? No, he can't. Tadale goes back through at the next corner. Oh, what a fight we've got here.
That was a beautiful slide. Well kept by Fabio Babini, even if he did lose the place back again. Great bit of wheel-to-wheel. And lunging up the inside here, Federico Al Rafai for 2nd place into the Sachs curve on Ivan Velasco. And yesterday's race winner aboard the GDL Racing Porsche goes through into 2nd place ahead of our pre-event championship leaders.
Yeah, you felt that one was coming. He was all over the back of Rafai for a couple of laps on the back of Velasco. Finally got the job done. Is this the drifting?
Yeah.
Look at that, sliding through the stadium section. Love it, couldn't hold it, but great to watch.
Certainly was. Great cut back from Dylan Tadale there as well to retake 4th position. Hopefully we see more of that. It looks more like a Carrera Cup race out there more than anything else.
Oh,
and Federico Al Rafai has already slashed the gap, done the fastest lap of the race there, a 43.763, and brought the gap down to 0.8 of a second. Problems. Oh no, the driver change is on.
Yeah, missed it.
Sorry,
30 seconds ago, yeah.
So it's just open, and straight into the pits has come Leandro Martins with Dieter Streps now getting aboard the 911 car. Also into the pits is Stefano Bozzoni and Camille Perian as well in 84 and 21.
Al Rafai is going after Shiro here. Velasco definitely holding on. There's only 0.8 between the 3 of them. There is the number 21, Escu is going to replace Perian. And there is the 84.
Yeah, Arturo Melga getting on board there. But the leaders staying out. Only 3 cars in the pits so far. And we have Al-Rafai now half a second. He's just done 2 purple sectors on this lap. And now he's been released. He's absolutely flying. We saw the Porsches do tend to have to get a bit inventive because they struggle to pass the Ferraris on the straight because they're so much faster. But he's right with Shiro now. That GDL car absolutely flying. And as mentioned yesterday, GDL's first win in GT Cup Europe since the end of the 2022 season. In comes the championship leader, Ivan Velasco, to hand over to Luca Ludwig here, the number 80 car in. Nicolas Salins also in the T1 track racing car to hand over to Stinus Longin. Laurent van der Velde also in number 52. Nathan Brauns will be getting aboard that car, and Johannes Zelga coming in the Tsunami racing car as well. All calm there from Ivan Velasco as Luca Ludwig plugs himself in for his 2nd race of the day, having just won the Pro-Am category in the International GT Open for Racing 1. And now Federico Al-Rafai, the Italian-born but UAE and Swiss resident, the international man of mystery, Federico Al-Rafai, right on the back of race leader Nicolo Shiro now.
Just full of confidence, aren't they, the youngsters? Absolutely no fear whatsoever. Shiro holding that gap at around 0.3 of a second only. Of course, on the straights, the Ferrari's got the advantage, and he's coming through these sections right here, the twisty turns, where Al-Rafai will try to take advantage. He doesn't go to the inside that time. Oh, he has a little look, considers it, thinks better of it. So we'll follow in the footsteps of Shiro for the time being. You kind of feel the hairpin on the next lap is always going to be their best opportunity, because here Shiro can just put the foot down. Oh, blimey.
He's lining up for the movie put on Leonov yesterday, isn't he? You see he's trying that narrower line between the last 2 corners. It was a great movie put on Leonov yesterday, but he did get a slight bit of bodywork damage, and it was rubbing up against that left rear tyre. And I went to go and take a look at it yesterday, and I think there is some slight concern that if we didn't end under safety car yesterday, then that tyre might not have made the race distance at full racing speed.
Might have gone pop.
Might have just done, but
look how close Rafai is now. It's 0.1 of a second.
Let's compare, because actually in the speed trap, they're very, very evenly matched. That slipstream might just be enough for the Porsche to stick with. Of course, the Ferrari, with its V8, has got something like 150 more horsepower than the flat 6 in the Porsche. And as they switch back here on the inside, Federico Al-Rafai into the lead of the race. Nicolas Shiro sees it coming and cuts back beautifully. And the lead there have changed, but only for a few meters. And the Rosso Corsa car of Shiro stays out in front.
That is wonderful from both cars. Rafai knew he was going to attempt, but so did Shiro. Once again, looks to the outside, can't cut back, surely. Oh, and he's goes to the inside. Will he hold on? No, he can't, because then Shiro takes the inside onto the line. He will get past.
Well, side by side now, coming towards the Mobile 1 curve, and again Al-Rafai has to concede, but again goes for the switchback. Side by side now, coming towards the Sachs curve. These two have not broken formation for about 5 or 6 corners now. Absolutely wonderful racing between these 2 drivers at the head of the GT Cup Europe field.
This is exactly what I want to see. Just saw a glimpse there of Dylan Dardel. He would love to be in this fight, but he's a few seconds back right now. Once again, they go down the start-finish straight. Shiro will have the advantage on our timing boards. Oh, he was ever so slightly out of sync there, but Shiro leading, of course, over turn number 1. We're on board with 54. This is Dylan Dardel coming into the pits from 3rd position.
Yeah, Jan Lauritsen now going to get aboard that car. And the 2022 champion getting back into this race. We've got car number 83 under investigation for speeding in pit lane. That tends to be fairly slam dunk. That's the Alba Vasquez, Laura van der Hengel car, but this is back with the leaders. Nicolo Shiro defending into the hairpin, and Federico Al-Rafai goes the long way round, tries the undercut. This is what Shiro did to him last time around, but he can't get the momentum he needs to draw alongside, and he's going to have to sit behind that Rosso Corsa Ferrari for another few corners.
Now
They
drive
get to the outside.
Driver end changes in 1 minute 50, so they're going to have to come in this time because they won't get round.
Side by side again. Sorry, Ewan, but this time Federico RFI doesn't go the long way round, tries to get the undercut and find himself the line into the Mobile 1 curve, but he can't find it. He can't find it, and this is going to rage on, probably right to the... Well, they're both going to have to swing right, aren't they, when they get to the pit lane entry. Top 6 cars yet to come in for their stops, and I have a feeling they'll all be bailing right very shortly. So coming through the last couple of corners, still Shiro leads Al Rafai, and yes, now both of them heading into pit lane. The 67 car, though, remember, it's got to take 15 seconds of handicap after their first and second place finishes in the last 2 races.
Yeah, that is going to not end things, but make an absolutely massive difference in this fight. That is why, of course, he was so keen to get past, just to save a second or two. I could have watched that for the next half an hour, those two going toe-to-toe.
Yep, so top 6 now in pit lane. Lorenzo Innocenti taking over the car from Nicolo Shiro, and Matteo Lavisi getting on board the 67 GDL Porsche. Martinez Richter as well, taking over from David Kajaya. In 81, it is Alvaro Libera, now taking over from Fernando Navarrete. So this is Luca Ludwig in 7th position at the start of this lap, the lead car that has made its stop. Remember, it was the 17 Rosso Corsa car that was leading before the pit stop phase, with Al Rafai in 2nd, but has Luca Ludwig been able to do anything about that since he got aboard that car? We're going to find out shortly as he heads towards the Nord curve. And, well, the Q1 track racing car is out. Where is the Rosso Corsa? That is the big question. He's beaten Scanicchio out, that's for sure. And ahead of the Belgian racing car, which is going to come out behind. This is on board with the 81 that's fighting in the AM category. Alvaro Libera coming out behind Martinez Richter. And, yep, Ludwig is ahead. Wow, Ludwig is ahead with Jan Lorison now in 2nd position, 4.7 seconds behind the Ferrari. Got a squabble here. Dieter Schreps on the inside of the Speed Lover Porsche, and one of the white cars. Quite make out who that was, but yeah, this is so this is yeah, Scanicchio and Stinas Longin. Stinas Longin going through into 3rd position over Scanicchio there. So the Q1 track racing car up into 3rd position, now chasing after the man who used to drive for Q1 track racing, Jan Lorison, for what will be 2nd position.
And that is what 7 minutes of driving changeovers can do to the complexion of a race. Back in front, the Luca Ludwig number 80. Qualified first in both sessions, led over the line yesterday, finished in 6th. That redemption that we've talked about, it is on course right now. They lead by 5 seconds over the 54 car. And that is, of course, Dylan De Dale handed over to Jan Lorison.
On board here with Lorison in 2nd position, and Ludwig continuing to stretch his legs out in front, the gap up to 5.2. Stinas Longin closing in on Lorison here. Stinas Longin, the GT2 European Series champion from a couple of years ago, the same year that Lorison won in GT Cup Europe. Now the 2 Porsches fighting over 2nd and 3rd position in this race, and then the AM battle between Richter and Libera continues on. They're separated by 2.8 seconds just behind these guys.
Lavisi has moved past Frozio into 7th position. Got a couple of seconds to grab the 2 AM drivers in front, Libera and Richter. That all a result of that 15-second penalty in the pit stop. And that moved them down for fighting for 2nd and 3rd, right down to the 7th place right now.
Confirmation drive-through penalty for the Alba Vasquez and Laura van der Hengel, number 83 Myrtle car, for speeding in the pit lane. That car currently in 14th position with Vasquez at the wheel. And we've got a replay here. This is the move on Annie Frosio from Matteo Lavisi. Annie Frosio in her first year of GT competition, or really any competition, actually, as we said. Made her racing debut in the Oldtimer Grand Prix last year. But, now in her first season of competition. And then this is Fernando Navarrete, Lorenzo Innocenti, I should say, in 10th position behind Philippe Wills. Bogdan Dumar pretty close behind him in the 57 Q1 track racing Porsche. That was 4th in the standings. The AM standings going into this weekend was that Porsche. But we see Innocenti on the recovery.
Lavisi in the GTL already halved the gap to Libera, lying in 6th in the AM competition. Bit of a gap up to him. If he wants to battle for podium places here, he's got a good 10 seconds to find, unfortunately. They are the fastest car on the track. But that is a mighty, mighty job. A 6-second lead now for the car 80, Luca Ludwig. That is looking pretty formidable, but we know how things can change in GT Cup Europe.
We certainly do. We were saying that this time yesterday, weren't we? Right, that is Matteo Lavisi now past the car 2nd in AM. And oh, who's arrived? Who's arrived on the scene there a little quicker than they probably anticipated? Big tyre screech. Saw a car moving slowly in the back of the shop. Hopefully we'll see a replay, but in the meantime, yeah, that's Lavisi up into 6th position ahead of Libera, and Dieter Schweppes now on the back of that Mertel car for 2nd in the AM classification. And just see, no, there was going to be one car that's going to fall down the order maybe, and it might have been Lorenzo Innocenti, but we'll wait to see. We had a great big tyre squeal at the hairpin, but didn't quite see who it was.
So top 4, all Pro-Am cars. Then Lavisi is through to 6th. We didn't see it, but through to 6th now. So just Martinez Richter in front in 5th, leading the AM competition. This is 54 Jan Lauritsen with Steens long in behind him. That is the real fight right now in Pro-Am, because it's almost 7 seconds up the track to Luca Ludwig. So Lauritsen and Longen.
Oh, Schweppes might want to get past Lavisi himself as well, as he's passed Libera into 2nd in AM, and he knows his class leader is only 2.8 seconds up the road, and so Dieter Schweppes is going to do something about Lavisi here. Coming down into the hairpin.
Make your bets outside, inside.
15 minutes left on the clock, and Schweppes, oh, he didn't go for either in the end. Thought he would have the lunge there, but not a battle for class position, but a battle that could help Dieter Schweppes fight for the AM victory if he finds his way through on yesterday's race winner. Dieter Schweppes actually fastest in the speed trap on this one, 260 kilometers an hour down the Parabolica. And was that the move? No, it was not. Of course, we talk about the Ferraris being the quickest down the straight. Oh no, that's the AM class leader. That is the AM class leader, and Dieter Schweppes having to take avoiding action, but Martinez Richter in the number 86 Mertel car skidding across the track, and we've had more contact here. The Rosso Corsa car and Johannes Zelger as well. So that's Lorenzo Innocenti down at turn number 10. And then yellow flags out, obviously, the Mobile 1 curve as well. This is the battle for 2nd place. It still has not let up because Stinus Longen still hunting the back of Jan Lauritsen's car. Yeah, it's all kicking off here in the last 15 minutes of this race, with Richter falling down the order and skidding across the track. But for 2nd place, Stinus Longen trying to find the inside. Jan Lauritsen squeezing him over to the right-hand side, almost onto the runoff area and the curbing. Longen eventually has to settle for the outside line. Tries the undercut now, and will have to still sit behind the Belgian racing car for a few more corners.
I tell you what, Dieter Sveps did well not to get wiped out by the car 17 going off the track. Lorenzo Fernando did manage to keep up, but he did take out one of the polystyrene speed boards, but still on track. But now 0.7 behind Matteo Levisi. So just look out for Sveps here. Nearly gets wiped out just there.
Good avoiding action there from Dieter Sveps, taking to the grass just the right amount. And then are we going to see contact here with Arturo Mel? No, Innocenti just loses it on his own, I think, because he was running a little bit wide to make space for...
so then, where did the Porsche come off?
I think Zelga just goes off in sympathy. So there was no contact between those two cars in the end. All happened in a very short space of time, but seconds out, round 2 in this battle for second place, 12 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, that's the second place. So Loris along in 2 battles going here, also behind them. Levisi says, let's keep up with the top one now. Stinas Longin and Jan Lorison, what is that? 0.3 of a second between them as they go up towards turn number 2. Porsche v Porsche for second step of the podium. Not close the gap as he might have wanted to into that turn, so they take the long, sweeping left up Parabolica towards the hairpin. 2 options here, inside, outside. Didn't have a go last time, we thought he might. Will he here? Trying to pick up all the speed he can, moves to the inside, then to the outside. It's not going to work like that. So Lorison will maintain the advantage up towards turn number 7 and 8. So you can see the heat coming off the track and the haze. It is blisteringly hot here at Hockenheim. Through the Mercedes-Benz section. Can't take advantage there, so next opportunity will be as they go towards the stadium. Big, hard right-hander. Looking at options again. No, not going to be this time.
Morrison's really getting his elbows out, isn't he? Hasn't always been a full-time campaigner in the GT Cup, but he doesn't forget how to race week to week, does he? So it's still Stinas Longin, the 32-year-old Belgian, racing his countryman, Jan Lorison.
Behind them, Levisi past Sveps for 5th.
Yeah, I think Sveps is actually closing back in on Levisi there. I mean, that is for 5th position, and Sveps being the AM class leader. They're well clear of the next car, which is Libera in 2nd. This is the advantage for our race leader, Luca Ludwig, 7.4 seconds clear now of Jan Lorison. And that gap between Lorison and Stinas Longin just opened up a fraction there. Right, this is Fabio Barbini and Davide Scanicchio, sorry, losing 4th position to Matteo Levisi. And now Dieter Sveps following through on Scanicchio there into 5th, going into turn 2. However,
that might be as good as it gets for yesterday's winner. They're 17 seconds behind your top 3. It's rinse and repeat for Lorison and Longin, but there is a bigger gap. Well, that's the battle behind right now.
Bear in mind that that car had 15 seconds of handicap as well, so that would have put them right on the back of that podium battle, wouldn't
Could have
it?
been a completely different story.
Yep. Replay here, 2 Mertel cars going wheel to wheel. Arturo Melga getting past Martinez Richter. That's the car that we just saw skipping through the gravel and skating across the track at turn number 11. That was leading the AM category, but now it's this man, Dieter Sveps in 911, and that car could well be on for a 3rd win in the AM category this season. Side by side though between 57 and the speed lover cars. That's Bogdan Duma ahead of Philippe Wills. I think that's might even be Philippe Wills trying to pass Bogdan Duma. So Duma's been there in 3rd for a while, and see, he might be able to close up on Alvaro Libera as well. It was 5 seconds the gap between the 2 cars. It's now 2.5 seconds, and Duma did a personal best last time around that was over a second quicker. than Libera. So battle for second place not over yet. Davide Scanicchio picking up a 5-second time penalty for track limits in the 78. That's the Fabio Babini car that he started in the 6th position at the moment. So if he can try and pull a gap, but he's 4 seconds at the moment ahead of Alvaro Libera.
We are on lap 21. The fastest lap was set on lap number 11. That was by Al Rafai in the 67, hand over to Lavisi. That was a 1:43.0. At the moment, they're doing well to get into the mid to low 1:44s. The gap to the leader is closed ever so slightly. It was beyond 7, it's just gone 6.999 to 6.8.
Yeah, and Ludwig last time around was 3/4 of a second slower than Lorison. We'll keep an eye on that.
He might just be taking it easy with that lead.
Yeah, probably is. He's probably a bit tired as well, having done the GC Open as well. I know I said that in Portimao, but you know, it won't be too much of a struggle. He's used to doing, you know, multiple hour stints at the Nürburgring, 24 hours. This won't break a sweat on him.
On board with Jan Lorison. Love to be on board with Steen's Longin right now. He's the one doing the chasing still for the second place. This battle could take place for the next 6 minutes and 50 seconds right to the line. Down to 6.7 the lead. I mean, it's barely noticeable, but it is coming down.
It was much more even last night. They matched each other to the 10th of a second. Right now did our top two. And Steen's Longin a little bit closer this time, around half a second behind Jan Lorison. So battle for seconds still not over just yet. Again, it's Johannes Zelger and Lorenzo Innocenti. Maybe this time they did make contact, but we saw those two cars spun at turn 10 in two completely independent...
Safety car deployed.
Two independent results, and safety car has been deployed. That is going to wipe out Luca Ludwig's 7-second advantage.
And for Matteo Lavisi, that is absolutely a golden opportunity.
It was contact between Zelga and Innocenti into turn 11, both in the gravel.
Because Lavisi, they were 17 seconds behind your top three.
Yeah.
Will we get another racing lap in with 5:40 on the clock? Two cars in the gravel trap. That will require the old tractor marshal to come and get these cars. There's only one of them, I believe, as well.
There's a nightmare as well for Davide Scanicchio with that 5-second penalty for track limits, because he's going to plummet right down the order, and well, he'll be well outside the top 10. At that point.
I'd love to be optimistic, but I think we may be finishing under safety car. But let's keep our fingers crossed for a bit more racing, because it was so good. Luca Ludwig, his 7-second lead looked pretty comfortable, but the race for second and third, Lorison and Longin, rinse and repeat every single lap for the last 6 or 7. Lavisi, they served a 15-second handicap penalty in the driver changeover. They had held that at around about 15-16 seconds. That is going to be down to half a second. Will they get the opportunity to go racing again? Don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. As it stands, it's Luca Ludwig, Jan Lorison and Steen's Longin, your overall podium, with Dieter Schweppes, Alvaro Libera and Bogdan Dumar on the AM podium. It's Ferrari, Porsche in Pro-Am, and then Porsche, Ferrari, Porsche in AM. Now, there was sounded like a slightly frantic radio call there from Martel, but we'll see. It should be fairly under control.
One of the two cars has been recovered. You might see it very briefly from the bird's eye view of Jan Lorison in a moment. So 1 down, 1 to go. 3 minutes 40 on the clock. So we've got 1.5 more laps at this speed, potentially. It's looking less and less likely that we'll get a racing lap in. I would love to see it. I'd love to see Lavisi have a go at Longin and Lorison, and maybe even catch Ludwig as well. Would be a fantastic end to this race. But it might be also at this speed we do cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, we'll see when it's usually around a 2.5 minute lap under safety car. We'll have an estimation when we get across the timing line. In the meantime, we've got some more pit stop ASMR. So it's the Racar pit stop. There we saw Camille Perriand and Florentin Cescu swapping roles in the R01 car. Oh, the slight hint of wheel spin there from the rear wheels on the Porsche. Thumbs up. Away they go.
An up and down weekend for the car number 80. Might end eventually on a high. That is the way it's looking right now for Velasco and Ludwig. They've had every single emotion possible over the last 48 hours. And I can tell you the second car is just about to be cleared. Oh, this is going to be really tight.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on the timing screens and the clock as well. See what race control decides. So we've just coming down to the Parabolica now, so it could be, it'd be very, very tight if we were going to get this race underway again. I mean, even just to get them round in time as well. Safety car in this lap, so it might need quite a rapid lap because we've only got just over a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, will they get there in time? They're either going to sprint, there's either going to be a 50-minute sprint from the last corner of the Sud curve to the start-finish line, or we might get one lap in. Now, what Luca Ludwig could do here is really pull back from the safety car.
Well, that's true. He'll just leave it very late to go and probably just take the checkered flag, because you're not even allowed to overtake until you reach the timing line anyway. So although it says safety car in this lap, we could well effectively be ending under safety car. Yeah, let's see. 50 seconds left on the clock, and they're coming towards the stadium section.
This will be mightily close.
Yeah. Well, for now it is Luca Ludwig leading the pack away.
And he is holding back. He's doing exactly that.
Yeah, not surprising, really. I mean, it's his prerogative about when to go, and he's letting the safety car pull away. But it will be a slow restart. And as long as he doesn't make any dangerous maneuvers, then he's free to do as he pleases.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are going to run out the clock here. 8 seconds left. So the checkered flag will meet Luca Ludwig as he puts the hammer down. No one's allowed to overtake until they reach the timing line. So despite them setting it up, we are now on the final lap, and the checkered flag will be waved. Luca Ludwig drives up towards the line, and after so much disappointment yesterday, it is redemption for the number 80 Myrtau crew of Luca Ludwig and Ivan Velasco, who take victory in race number 2 in GT Cup Europe at Hockenheim. Jan Lorison, welcome back to GT Cup. Him and Dylan Dodale in second place. Stinas Longin and Nicolas Salins finish third. It is a third AM win for Racar and Dieter Schreps and Leandro Martin, with Alvaro Libera in second in class and Bogdan Duma in third.
Well, cutting it fine. We talk about every single emotion, tension right down to the last couple of corners, but in the end, the safety car, which really did them over yesterday, did them a favour in race number 2.
The 80 crew came here this weekend, topped FP1, FP2, the bronze test, pole position, and now finally race 2 victory. It's victory for number 80, Jan Lorison and Dylan Dodale in second place, Stinas Longin and Nicolas Salins in third, ahead of Federico Arafai and Matteo Lavisi, fourth after victory yesterday. Another AM win for Leandro Martins and Dieter Schreps, with Fernando Navarrete and Alvaro Libera in second, with Nico van Dierendock and Bogdan Dumar in seventh. Philippe Wills fourth in AM, and then Melgar and Bazzoni and Richter and Kajaya completing the top 10. Van der Velde and Prawns in 11th, then Camel Perian and Florentin Cescu. Davide Scanicio and Fabio Babini 13th after their 5-second time penalty, ahead of Jorge Cabezas and Andy Frozio. But Lauren van der Hengel and Alba Vasquez, the last of the 15 remaining runners. We lost Innocenti, Zelga, Lars Zanen and Evgeny Leonov in that race. So Velasco and Ludwig lead now by Federico Arafai and Matteo Levisi by 4 points, well clear of Dieter Streps and Leandro Martins, and Stina Long and Nicola Salins in fourth position now in the championship. But yes, having come here and dominated every single session of practice and qualifying, but missing out on the win yesterday, this is absolute redemption. And if you were to take the result on the road, they've actually topped every single session, just not technically the race won.
Yep, they crossed the line first in every single opportunity, every time, every bit of track time. They were the leaders. Didn't take home maximum points, of course, across the 2 days, but yeah, the absolutely perfect way to finish. And a great weekend for the baby duel of VC and LRFI 2. A first ever podium, the win yesterday, and a 4th place finish, which could have been so much better without that 15-second handicap, but them's the rules.
Yep, as Luka Ludwig exits the number 80 Mertel car, and it is a first victory of the season for Ludwig and Velasco. Been a long time coming. It was second place in Portimao, and so near it so far again in so Jan Lorison out of the car, Dylan undoing his straps there, but Nicola Salins and Stina Zlongin celebrating their podium as well. But yes, it's been so near but so far in quite a few races for the number 80 crew, and now finally they have secured that first victory of the season. See the big smile for Ivan Velasco. Jan Lorison there, very happy with second place, holding back Stina Zlongin for quite a bit during that race. First victory of the season for the number 80 crew. Puts them back in the lead of the championship. I'll pose for the photos and we'll hear from them shortly. Top indeed. Photos there. So let's hear the big smiles for Ivan Velasco. Third position for Stinas Longin and Nicola Salins in the number 11 Q1 Track Racing Porsche. Second place on Jan Lorison's return to the GT Cup Europe alongside Dylan Derdale in the Belgian racing team Porsche. But for the first time this season, after so many close attempts, Luka Ludwig and Ivan Velasco on top for Mertel Motorsport, and they are downstairs with Alfredo.
We are with winners of race 2 of the GT Cup Europe here at Hockenheim, Ivan Velasco and Luka Ludwig. Luka Ludwig, you haven't finished work because Ivan, his English is a little bit short, so you have to talk more. Tough weekend, but at the end, good result.
Yeah, happy ending. I'm really proud of the whole team that finally we could win the first race for Mertel Motorsport. And was a proper race. Ivan did a fantastic job, and me, I just had to finish. And now I hope that we can make a step forward in the championship, and that's it.
Starts now. Iván, vamos a decir algo, por lo menos, que estás contento.
Sí, bueno, la verdad que ya tocaba el ganar una carrera porque hemos tenido un montón de problemas y líos. Y bueno, súper agradecido a mi súper compañero Luca y a mi equipo por el coche tan rápido que nos han puesto.
Good. It was about time, he said, and very grateful to teammate and the whole team. Well done, bravo, podio.
Let's take a look back at highlights from race 2 in GT Cup Europe. It was an all-Ferrari front row with Mertel versus Rosso Corsa. Evgeny Leonov hit the grass before they even got to the first corner, but it was Ivan Velasco who led Nicola Schiro going into the first corner. There were a few attempts at the lead from Nicola Schiro as the Belgian racing car, Dylan Dodera, made up great progress on that first lap to move himself up the order. Scary moment here as Lars Zanin spun the car out of the Sachs curve, creating a pillar of smoke, and straight into the side of that car went Evgeny Leonov. We went under safety car. Thankfully, both drivers okay. On the restart, Schiro got the jump on Ivan Velasco to take the lead of the race away from the Mertel car as we headed into the driver change window. And as we came back out again, it was Velasco, or Luka Ludwig back leading again. After that, it went pretty sour for the Rosso Corsa team. First with this spin, and then also a moment in the gravel trap as well as Luka Ludwig continued to lead. And then, yes, from bad to worse for Rosso Corsa, contact with Johannes Zelga, putting them both in the gravel. We ended effectively under safety car conditions with the timer running out by the time we got going again. For the first time this season, it was Mertel Motorsport. It was the Ferrari number 80 of Ivan Velasco and Luka Ludwig, having come so close on so many attempts. But this was the weekend where they were completely unstoppable, topping FP1, FP2, the bronze test, pole position in both races as well. First on the road, technically, as well, but denied victory. But they've had the redemption here today for the German team on home soil. Mertel Motorsport, they are on top in Hockenheim. The Mertel representative on the right-hand side. Their championship is now underway. First victory of the season for the number 80 crew. Of course, Luka Ludwig on home soil as well, along with the Mertel team. And it is third position for Stina Slongen and Nicholas Eilins. They collect their trophies. It is their second podium appearance after they took victory in race 2 in Portimao a couple of weeks ago. Second place for Jan Lauritsen and Dylan Dodale. Jan Lauritsen, that's the first time he's actually finished second in quite a long time, because normally he just rocks up and wins, or he doesn't turn up at all. But for Ivan Velasco and Jorge Cabezas, first time this season on the top step of the podium, and it is the second time on the podium for the Spanish-German pairing. They started the season with a second place in Portimao. And now they have the top step for them as well. They posed for the photos. They were eager to get to that champagne, weren't they, before the photos? And now they will celebrate. It's Jan Lauritsen giving it good to the Q1 track racing guys. And that's 2 wins in a day for Luka Ludwig. One in Pro-Am in the GT Open with Ernst Kirkmeyer in the Racing 1 Ferrari just a couple of hours ago. And has now won overall in the GT Cup as well. What a day. And now we go to the AM podium as well, which was again close, but it's a second victory of the season for the Andro Martins and Dieter Sveps, or a third victory, I should say, back-to-back after victory yesterday in race number 1, race 1 in Portimao as well. So at the moment they either win or they don't score points, because they didn't score points in race 2 in Portimao. So it's been a very strong start to the campaign for the Racar team. And so joining them on the podium in third position, it is Bogdan Dumar and Nicola van Dierendonk in the number 57 Q1 track racing Porsche on the right-hand side. Second was Alvaro Libera and Fernando Navarrete in the 81 Mertel Motorsport Ferrari. And then on the top step, Racar Motorsport once again. And for Van Dierendonck and Dumas, that is their second or third podium of the season, and their second, third place finish in a row as well. They were on the podium yesterday. The 57 pairing for Libera and Navarrete. I think that is the first one. But for just checking, they hadn't scored points before this weekend, so that's a first podium for the Mertel Am pairing number 81 crew. And then a third win for Dieter Schweppes and Leandro Martins. That's all from GT Cup Europe in Hockenheim. A great first visit for the championship. These guys are back out at Spa-Francorchamps in 2 weeks' time.